I'm a recruiter and I review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a full stack software developer, and I want to let everybody know I do more than tech, but tech is the most common resume that gets submitted to me. So for a full stack software developer, what we need is degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. I swear to you, if you do not have JavaScript, TypeScript, HTML in your resume as a full-stack developer, you are going to be in for a bad time. Is it basic? Yes. Does everybody know it? Yes. Do you need it in a resume? 1,000% yes. Rule number 2 of resume creation is never assume people know what you know. And rule number 3 is if it's implied that you have X, you don't have X. Put JavaScript, HTML, and CSS in your resume. Preferably TypeScript as well, but you can get away with not TypeScript. But if you do not have JavaScript, HTML, and CSS in your full stack resume, you're probably going to get rejected. So, React or React.js, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, SQL, NoSQL, RESTful APIs, REST APIs, Cloud, CI/CD, Git, .NET or Python or Java. And again, this can replace TypeScript, but hopefully you have both. And bonus points for all that other stuff. So recruiters only have 20 seconds to find what we need in a resume. If we cannot find it within that 20 seconds, you will get rejected. So can I find it? No, this is a garbage resume. So, or maybe not. This might actually be their new one. So they told me that it takes them 150 applications to get an interview, but I think that was their old one. And that is how you know if your resume is good. If it takes you more than 50 applications to get an interview, bad resume. If it takes you less than 50 applications to get an interview, good resume. So they said 150, but I think this is their redone one, so I don't know how accurate this is. So 20 seconds is on the clock. Let's see if this is actually good or not. And go. Okay, degree, good. Don't need this because you already have the... Well, actually, never mind. Built a responsive, user-friendly, I don't care, interface using good, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React. Help team track. Okay, good. Created and maintained and deployed APIs and backend systems using Node.js and AWS to pull live data from Quadrix. But I don't care about that. But I do. Sorry, I don't care about the percentages. But I do care about that. Designed to manage relational to store data. Okay, so this I don't think is a terrible resume. I actually don't think this is their old resume. This is a new one. I really hope people give me the accurate ones. They said, here is the JD that I tried to match. Okay, never match a JD. Right, so as a recruiter, how ATSs work. You want to know the secret? You're not going to like it. I made it short. Everybody's upset about how ATSs actually work. ATSs sort you on a first-come, first-served basis. That's it. That's the big secret of ATSs. That's how they work. But what about AI? Nope. First come, first serve. What about nope? First come, first serve. What about all this? First come, first serve. That's it. That's how they worked for 10 plus years. That's how they work now. Maybe it'll change in 5 years from now, but right now, first come, first serve. So if you are applying to a role and there are already 200 people on that role, you probably won't get seen. That's how it is. So you really want to be applying to roles that have less than 100 people or are reposted. Because again, how recruiters work is we go in the order you applied until we find enough candidates that match, and then we stop. Because we fill up our schedules and the managers, and then we stop. Why, if you've already found 5 good candidates in the first 50, why would you go for the next 450? So the reason I say that is never tailor your resume to a job. Tailor it to the job title. So pick a job title, in this case full stack, which this is already tailored. You can use my cheat sheet up here. And then build your resume based on this and use that to mass apply. Because otherwise, if you are over the first 100 people to apply, you will probably not get seen. And it doesn't matter how good your resume is. So this person said we're seeking a blah, 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 blah. But they also made a mistake in the JD that they sent me. Is they gave me the responsibilities section. I'm going to tell you right now, responsibilities don't matter in the JD. The responsibilities are for you. Nothing in the responsibility section is what a recruiter is looking for or hiring manager. We're only looking for stuff in the qualifications. So the problem I have with this is not actually that it's a terrible resume. It's not. They use the right formatting, which is this. You can find it in the link below. This is how you do it. My problem is they just needed to go a little bit more in the bullet points. So let me dig down about what does and does not work in this. So this is good. Normally, I would say you do not need your bachelor's, right, if you already have your master's. The fact is they're graduating in May, so they haven't gotten it yet, so this is good. Second, I don't care that you built a responsive, user-friendly. Nobody cares. That's not relevant. Stop adding adjectives of great, fantastic, extra, amazing. They mean nothing. But built user interfaces using JavaScript, HTML, and CSS and React is great to help teams track real-time service project visually is a good sentence. That's great. That gives me this stuff right here. Boom. Good. And then what else do I have? We have React. Where did React go? There it is. React.js. Awesome. Perfect. So we need 75% of these to move forward, and they have to be in qualification format, which is what you did, how you did it, the reason and result of you doing it, and the impact or where you... I'm tired, y'all. Been live streaming for like 3 hours right now. So what you did, which is a keyword, how you used it, the reason and result of using it, and where you used it. All those mean a qualification, and we need 75% of those to move forward. So created, maintained, and deployed. Just say created, right? I don't need the rest of that. The rest of that is redundant. APIs, good, and backend systems integrations using Node.js and AWS to pull live data, which, in fact, you don't even need to say the pull live data, to reduce manual reporting errors, right? Like the rest of that is not really needed. And stop adding these percentages. Design and manage databases using MySQL. So this is not a bad sentence. The problem is I want 3 keywords minimum per sentence. This only has 1. So I need a little bit more. So you need to condense this into one of your other ones. Collaborated with project QA teams and clients to deliver. Okay, again, some of this is good, but there's only 1, so I need more. Awarded the Climb Higher Award for... This doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. So again, I need you to be a little bit more specific about this, and I don't see TypeScript. I don't see Node. I don't see Angular. I don't see Next.js. I did see SQL. SQL is good, right? SQL is good. Found SQL. I don't see CI/CD. I don't see Git. I don't see another backend language. That's actually a bit of a deal breaker. So you only have about 40% of what I'm looking for. So while you wrote some sentences correctly, a big issue is you don't have enough. You have too many hot dogs and not enough hamburgers. So I do this every video, so if you want to skip 2 minutes ahead, go ahead if you've heard this before. But I want you to imagine that you're hungry, right? And you go to a restaurant and you're like, I want a cheeseburger with pickles and onions. Weird choice, but whatever, cheeseburger, pickles, and onions. The waiter says, cheeseburger, pickles, and onions. You say, cheeseburger, pickles, and onions. So they say, all right, let's give you that cheeseburger with pickles and onions. They go back, they bring you back a hot dog, and they say, hey, here's your cheeseburger with pickles and onions. You say, this is a hot dog with cheese, pickles, and onions. This is not what I wanted. They say, yeah, it is. This is what you wanted. You wanted a cheeseburger with pickles and onions, and a hot dog has meat like a hamburger. A hot dog has buns like a hamburger. A hot dog can have cheese, pickles, and onions like a hamburger. This is what you wanted. You would walk away and not pay. And that is the exact problem you are having with this, is you filled this a little bit with stuff that is hot dogs, which is stuff that is tangentially related, which is like, yeah, it has meat, but it's not a cheeseburger, right? And that's the problem. So I need less of those hot dogs and more of those hamburgers, because there's just too many hot dogs and not enough hamburgers. Also, a big thing here that I did catch is, where are you located? This is critical. If you are applying for roles out of state, you have to mention here, moving to X by Y date, can move earlier if needed. If you don't, you will probably get rejected. So, does this resume pass? No. Is this the worst resume in the world? Not at all, but it just needs more, right? You have about 30 to 40% of what I need. I need 75% to move you forward. So if anybody ever needs more help, they can join me on my live streams. I live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on both YouTube and Twitch. So if you want to join Twitch, it's twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And I want to thank you all for watching, liking, and commenting. I appreciate it. And to my members who get access to videos a little bit early, thank you very much for supporting me. If you want to be a member, you can join in the link below. But to my members, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I'm here to help you all get jobs. So let's go to the next resume. this is another full stack. So again, this is the most common job that is submitted to me as a full stack software dev. So we already know what we need. I don't need to repeat that. 20 seconds on the clock. Is this a good resume? Is this a bad resume? It is 100 to 1. So not great, definitely bad, but also not unsalvageable. Unless this is their old resume and they haven't given me the new one, which sometimes people do. So 20 seconds on the clock. Up there, and let's see what they've got. And go. Okay, degree. I don't need this because you already have the master's. Train large language. Okay, that's not relevant. Revived in refractor Java. Not relevant. Identified edge cases. Semi-relevant. That's really hot dog. Full stack. Not related. And decline. There's almost nothing in this resume. Let me see what they wrote. I finished grad school in December. Then put that you just... So the rule for this, right, is if you graduated more than 3 years ago, put status graduated. If you graduated under 3 years ago, put when you graduated. I've been applying for about 2 months without success. I've had a couple of only online assessments. And one phone screen, but nothing beyond that. I've submitted over 100 applications. This resume is the new one that I started using this week. Okay, so this is still not a good resume. I want to like the formatting is perfect, but like formatting is 30% of your grade, right? You can completely fail by having fantastic formatting, and having bad formatting, you can still succeed. So I want you to go back here because like these are not relevant. Like, why do I care that you are an AI trainer? I'm looking for a full stack dev. So many people think, oh, AI is popular, I'm going to put AI all in my resume. And the fact is, most companies, even like these AI first startups, they're not looking for AI devs. They're looking for software engineers first with a little bit of garnish of AI. So this completely irrelevant, doesn't matter. Java code can be relevant, but the rest of this is not. I don't care that your code is clean. Nobody knows what that is. It's not real. Yeah, it's probably real, but whatever. Identified edge cases. Okay, cool, but like this is the only part that's needed. Then we go down here. Nothing here is related. You did not tell me what the actual stack was. Remember, you have to tell me these. You cannot just assume. Then developed a Java and Spring Boot RESTful APIs to scrape job listings. This is good for a Java developer. This is not what I'm looking for necessarily in a full stack. The Java is nice, the RESTful API, and the SQL. But again, I don't see any full stack. So why is it that I have to go all the way down here until I get to my singular first sentence that has full stack? Built a responsive, no one cares that responsive, just say front end. Front end with JavaScript, React, HTML, and CSS to enable user configure search parameters, manage lead rich results. Cool. This is actually useful. Why do I have to scroll all the way there? No one's scrolling all the way down to here to get to that. This is too far. Too far. Why do I have to go through all of this junk? That should be your first sentence. This should be up front in your first sentence. And honestly, I don't think there's much worth in your AI, and you've only been there for like a couple of months, so this is probably not related at all. So like this should be your first sentence, and you should just say, built a front end using JavaScript, React, HTML, and CSS, and the back end in Java and RESTful Spring Boot to scrape job listings for user-defined parameters, for resume, whatever. Because like right now, you're burying the important part. You assume that everybody knows that. No, I know it sounds insane, but you cannot assume people know what you know. So your formatting is fine, all right? Don't change the formatting, but your bullet points are bad, and I only found about 30 to 40%. Remember, I need 75% to move you forward. I found JavaScript, I found Java, HTML, CSS, I found React, I found RESTful API and SQL, and I think that's it, and that's not 75%. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board, and I'm going to need you to write bullet points that I actually care about. Remember, this is how you need to write them, and this is the stuff that actually matters, because if it's not this stuff, it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters but this. Next resume. This is a data analyst resume. So what we need for a data analyst is degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, influencing stakeholders and explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders. You need this. And I don't want you to just say, explain technical concepts. I want you to tell me what those were, how you explain them, and what the results of you explaining it to those stakeholders are, right? So many people just say, no, I need to see how. The how is the most important part. Then how you solved a problem with data, not what the data is. I don't care that you used a Monte Carlo skibbity learn to quantum compute whatever. All I care is what you use the data for, right? So many entry-level data analysts put how they got the data. Nobody cares how you got the data. We care what the data is used for. And how you solved a problem with the data. Then MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, ETL, Python, R, multiple projects and deadlines, and nice to have cloud and AI. So, I'm losing my voice. All right. So, 20 seconds on the clock. We don't know their ratio. So, yeah, maybe good, maybe bad. Let's see. And start. Don't need this, don't need this, don't need this. Where's your education? Okay, you've got it. Don't need this, don't need this. All right. Optimized backend. This doesn't matter. Conducted route. Nobody cares. Metrics to engineering leadership. That's actually very good. Intern, develop Python is fine, but the rest of this doesn't matter. Okay, and declined. Yeah, you filled your resume with, again, hot dogs. Like, summaries don't matter. Also, you are an international, you stated, which is going to tank your chances. Again, I can get you a 1 in 30 to a 1 in 100 with an international resume, which is actually fantastic. But, like, none of this is not like this. So, A, fix your formatting. Make it look like this. Then, again, none of this actually matters, right? None of this matters. Fix your formatting. This should be one line and italicized. This should be bolded, no line. And then we go down to here, and the problem is most of this is completely irrelevant. Why do I care that you optimized APIs and backends and whatever from milliseconds? No, that's not... I mean, like, I have never in my life seen a single job description that says you must reduce response time from 800 milliseconds to 200 milliseconds, 75% improvement, or else you will never get moved forward. Not a single job description in the world will ever say that. So this is not needed. None of this is needed. This is actually pretty good. I would prefer there to be a little bit more, because remember, you want 3 keywords per bullet point, but presented system performance metrics to engineering leadership stakeholders, that counts as stakeholders, translating technical data into actionable infrastructure recommendations. Solid. I would like a little bit more here, but that is at least a good beginning part of a sentence. And then here, developed Python, good, but the rest of this, why do I care that it's a log piercer? Again, I don't care how you did it, I care what you did with it. So that's my problem here, is like most of this is garbage. Like none of this is related. What about this? Analyze, don't care. Again, your numbers mean nothing. Stop giving me numbers. I care about what you did, not the number. Nothing, nothing, nothing. This doesn't count. So yeah, I mean, there's just like nothing here. Oh, analyzed, built dashboards, good, and whatever. Yeah, and then, I don't know, the rest of this is garbage. So yeah, like you filled it with a bunch of stuff that nobody cares about. Also, your education needs to be up at the top. That is a requirement. Remember, education is up at the top. Education is a requirement. It should be there. But the rest of this doesn't matter. Nobody cares about these numbers. Unless you're in sales or leadership, you don't want these numbers in your resume. The only numbers you should have in your resume are your phone number, which, my God, you need. Your dates of employment here if you just graduated, the dates of employment here, and that's it. Otherwise, you don't want any other numbers. So those are the only numbers I want in your resume. Unless you're in sales or a manager, you do need that. But right now, this is why you're having trouble, is your resume is almost entirely blank. None of this stuff is related. You are trying to convince me that you are good. You will fail. You do not convince others that you're good. You convince them that you meet the bare minimum qualifications. Next, resume. This is a resume of a front-end developer, not necessarily React, just front-end dev. Also, this person is in the UK, and most of my what I say will work in the UK, but like 5% of it won't. So this should be 95% accurate, but there may be one or two differences. So for a front-end developer in the US, which I have to judge this based on, and I have gotten people jobs in the UK, is JavaScript, React, Angular, HTML, CSS, PHP, Next.js, SQL, Scrum, Agile, RESTful APIs, SEO, Git, CI/CD, Node.js, 0 to 1, communicate with stakeholder needs into a product, and extra languages for bonuses. Also, I am aware PHP and a front end, but that's what they say. I don't make the job descriptions. Well, sometimes I do, but the manager is the one that makes that. And a lot of managers in the US want PHP for their front end devs. Why? I don't know. You can take it up with them, but that is what they want. So, is this a good or bad resume? It is a 1 in 75. So there's some stuff that's bad, but there's some stuff that definitely does work. So I'm expecting this to fail, but not by much. So 20 seconds is on the clock. And let's find out. And go. Okay, formatting is off. Built website for using React, TypeScript, HTML, CSS. Payload, don't care. Version controls, Git. Figma, don't care. CI/CD pipelines is good. Integrated contact forms using AWS, don't care about that. Resend, don't care. Don't care. Don't care. The rest of that I do. Built and accessible, Next.js, TypeScript, HTML, and time. This is on the edge of working. It's just, again, you filled it with slightly too many hot dogs, and it's slightly too difficult to find what we need. Also, your work experience is a little scattered, which isn't really great. But let me read what you wrote. Love the content. UK-based front-end dev with some unfortunate situations leading to some short-term jobs. Okay. One company-wide layoff, one startup ran out of money, and it's not your fault. Like, I want to clarify. I understand it's not your fault. It's just really difficult to convince managers short stints. It really, really stinks because, it's mostly not the candidate's fault. Mostly it's just the company and the economy, which we're in a recession, so most people are getting laid off. It looks job hoppy while unintentional. I'm looking for advice on how to approach this. I spent the last 2 years freelancing, but want to get back into full-time roles. Okay, so here's how you write this. All right, so you may actually want the second type of format. There is another resume format, which I don't know if I actually have saved. Here it is, that you may want. This is only good for high-level managers and job hoppers, okay? If you're not a high-level manager or a job hopper, do not use this. It's not better or worse. It's just different. So, and I haven't fully taught it because it's just really, really hard to teach this. But what you want to do is break this down. Oh, this was the last resume. Break this down into 3 buckets, okay? These will be your skill buckets. Now, what they are for front-end dev, I don't know off the top of my head. It will definitely be front-end, probably PHP, and maybe working with other managers or something. And then what you're going to want to do is you want to break those 3 buckets and write them down here, okay? So you're going to have bucket 1, which is job family skill number 1. It's going to be right here. Job family skill number 2, job family skill number 3. And then you're going to put all of these bullet points and put them under each one of those buckets. Then at the bottom, you do your actual work history, which just says the years of employment, and you don't do anything else. And since you've worked at your own company as a freelance, if that company does not have your name, I would recommend you write it as if you were at somebody else's company and just don't mention it until the interview. Once you mention it in the interview, they're usually fine, but they don't like mentioning it before the interview. I don't know, hiring managers are weird like that. So I really, really want you to, instead of my freelance studio, just say X studio, freelance developer, and then put when you were doing it, because present without anything doesn't look good. And then I would fill these into the job buckets to put it in. Now, you still need to update your bullet points a little bit better. Again, there are a little too many hot dogs here. They're not garbage, right? They're not delete them, but like I don't really care about SES. I don't care about Resend. I don't care about Google Work Domain. I don't care about SAS as much. You do need SAS, but you need to write it as SASS in all caps. I don't really care about microservices. I don't know if this is needed, or React Cosmo. So again, it's not terrible. I just need a little bit more. And that will be the best way to do that. That, or you just literally remove these from your resume. But I would probably use this format. It should help. I don't know what I'm drawing here. It should help a little bit. But the big thing is you need to write this as if it was another company, and I need the dates of employment there. So fix your bullet points a little bit, fix the formatting, change it to one of those two, and you should have some more success. You will not have a 1 in 7. That's just not going to happen, but you can at least get better than a 1 in 75. Next resume. We have another data analyst that is 100 to 1, so bad but not unsalvageable. So let's see. We did do a data analyst, so again, this is what we need, and I need how you got the data, not what the data was. All right, so SQL, data visualization, influencing stakeholders, all that good stuff. So 20 seconds on the clock for this 100 to 1 resume. Is 100 to 1 or 75 to 1? 100 to 1. So again, there's some stuff that is definitely flawed. Formatting is bad, but excuse me, go. Okay, no. Where's your degree? Okay, you did get your degree. Good. Let's see. So developed automated pipelines and data predictives, dashboards using SQL and Python. Recorded enhancing. What? Okay. Used to automate, extract. You don't need to say extract, cleanse, and load. And what do you mean improve data quality? Doesn't matter. Develop dashboards with Looker. Integrated. This is okay. And organized. Okay, so this is a resume that has the right keywords but not the right qualifications. So this is your formatting is charitably a block of random text. So please use this formatting. Please. Let me read what you wrote. Resume is adapted depending on the scope of the job posting. No, never do that. You should not be changing your resume for each job. If you are changing it for each job, you are losing your chance. Because remember, ATS is sort on a first-come, first basis. If you are number 872, we will not find you. So do not change this based on each job posting. You make a job family resume of data analyst and then use that to mass apply to every data analyst resume. So, second, these bullet points are, again, filled with hot dogs. Like, most of this stuff isn't needed, right? Like, why do I need this? This is not related. Doesn't matter. And then this, nothing here I really need besides the SQL. But you did not write it correctly. Because remember, we're looking for qualifications, not keywords. And this is just too many words that don't matter to what we're looking for. So this doesn't matter. And then use SQL and Python. You already mentioned SQL and Python up here. You don't need to mention it twice. Remember, the rule is once per job. The same keyword should only be used once per job. So Python once here, good. Python once here, good. Python once here, good. But Python up here and down here, bad. Python up there and down there and... Okay, that is actually the only time you did it. Down there, bad. All right, so that's what you want. You don't want to triple it up in the same one. Also, here is a critical failure of this resume is I need the months. A 2019 to 2023 could be 4 years or it could be closer to 2 years. And maybe 3 years. So I need you to put the months, okay? If you've been working at the same place for 20 years, you can skip the months, because, like, whatever. But you need the months. If you do not have the months, that is a big red flag. Because this could be 4 years experience, could be more, could be less. Because if you started this in December of 2019 and you left it in January of 2023 is a problem. Also, gaps normally don't matter unless they're over 2 years. What have you been doing in the time since 2023? They are going to want to know. They want to see that you've done other projects in the meantime. Second off, these bullet points are so much. Like, I don't care about all of this, right? Like, no, you're really, I'm asking you, like, what's 1 + 1, and then you're saying, so the history of numerology is in 1930s. Like, we're not asking for that. We're asking for just this, and you fill it with so many. Most of these don't need to be there. Like, is there anything in this one? No, nothing in this bullet point matters that can be deleted. Monitored. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Facilitated stakeholder management. Again, this is too technical. You had the right idea, but it's way too technical. Write it simpler. You need to write it for your grandparents. Manage market. Okay, why do I care that you manage a laptop? That's your data analyst, not a... I don't even know what that would be. Not somebody at Geek Squad. Design and implemented content strategies for streamlining. Again, not related, 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 not related. So you have filled this with so much information, and most of it is not. I want you to remember hot dogs versus hamburgers. This is filled to the brim with hot dogs, to the point where you actually have some qualifications here that I missed because there's too much. So please, 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 simplify this resume. Make it look like this. You should not need more than this many bullet points. And there's just too much here. Like, nobody cares about this stuff. And I'm not being mean, right? Like, you're clearly very good at your job, but this is not what people hire for. They don't hire somebody that organized data with complex SQL scripts to process 10 million rows. They hire somebody that says, I use SQL to create a PDF to influence our stakeholders to not make a decision that would hurt our bottom line. Like, that's the level of simplicity. If you can't describe it to somebody that doesn't know how to turn on a computer, your resume is bad. And that's sometimes the hiring manager too, not just the recruiter. I'm not just throwing recruiters under the bus. I'm throwing the hiring managers under the bus as well. So that's all I can do for this resume. I just want to thank you all for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. Really does help me out. And if you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST. I stream on YouTube right here and on Twitch at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is where I get these keywords. And to all of my members on YouTube, thank you very much for supporting me. You get access to videos a little bit earlier than other people, and if anybody wants to be a member, they can join in the link below, but just thank you for supporting me. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next video to help you get ahead of your job search. Later, y'all.